He lived in Bethany with his two sisters, Mary and Martha. This is the Mary who later poured an expensive perfume on the Lord's feet and wiped them with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was sick, so the two sisters sent a message to Jesus, informing him, Lord, your dear friend is so sick. But Jesus, when he first heard about it, he said, Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. No, it's for the glory of God. So the Son of God will receive glory from this. Although Jesus loved so much Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, he stayed where he was for the next 2 days. Finally, he said to his disciples, let's go back to Judea. But his disciples objected him. They said, Rabbi, just a few days ago, the people in Judea were trying to stone you. Are you going there again? And Jesus said, there are 12 hours of daylight every day. People can walk safely during the day because they can see, they have the light of this world. But at night, there is danger of stumbling because there is no light. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I will go and I'll wake him up. So the disciples said, Lord, if he's sleeping, then he will get better soon. The disciples thought Jesus meant that Lazarus was simply sleeping. But Jesus meant Lazarus had died. So Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And for your sakes, I'm glad I was not there. Because now you will really believe. So they went to Bethany, and Thomas, nicknamed the twin, said, okay, let's go to and let's die with Jesus. When they arrived, they were just arriving in Bethany. Jesus was informed that Lazarus had already been in his grave for 4 days. Bethany was just a few miles down the road of Jerusalem. So many of the people came to console Mary and Martha in their loss. When Martha heard Jesus was coming, she went to meet him and said, Lord, if you just had been here, my brother would not have died. Jesus said, Martha, your brother will rise again. Then Martha answered, yes, I know. He will rise when everyone else rises at the last day. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying. Anyone who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die. Do you believe this, Martha? Then she said, yes, Lord. I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one sent into the world from God. Then Martha returned to Mary. She called her from the mourners aside and said, Mary, the teacher is here and he wants to see you. So Mary immediately went to meet Jesus. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leaving so hastily, they assumed she was going to the town to just weep. But then they followed her, all of them. Jesus was over there outside the village where Martha had met him. And when Mary arrived and saw Jesus, she felt in her feet and she worshipped and said, Lord, if you just had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw Mary weeping and all that people with her wailing, a deep anger welled up within him, and he was deeply troubled. Then he asked, where did you put them? Where did you put him? They said, Lord, come and see. Then Jesus wept. And the people were saying, look how much he loved him. But others said, this man opened the eyes of a blind man. Didn't he just had stopped Lazarus from dying? When Jesus arrived and he saw the tomb, there was a big stone rolled on its entrance. So Jesus said, roll the stone aside. But Martha protested. She said, Lord, please, he's dead for 4 days. This man will be terrible. Jesus said, didn't I tell you that you will see the glory of God if you believe? So they rolled the stone aside. And Jesus shouted, Lazarus, come out! Wow! The dead man came out. His hand and feet bound in grave cloth, and his head wrapped in the headcloth. So Jesus said, unwrap him and let him go. Many people who were there with Mary believed in Jesus when they saw this. 6 days before the Passover celebration began, Jesus was again in Bethany, the house of Lazarus, the man he had raised from the dead. A dinner was being prepared to honor Jesus. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those who were among Jesus and ate with him. Mary came with a 12-ounce jar filled with an expensive perfume made of essence of nard, and she anointed Jesus' feet and wiped them with her hair. The fragrance filled the whole house, and many people came. Actually, they flocked to see Jesus and also to see Lazarus. And then the leading priests decided to kill Lazarus too, because many people had deserted them because of him and believed in Jesus. Praise Jesus. Amen.